Euphoria. What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane. If you're new here, I'm Erica Vane, right here on Erica Vane TV, where we break down all of the hottest television and film. If it's popping, if it got a strong story, amazing characters, then you know that I'm talking about it, and you should keep it locked. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications so that you don't miss any of my new videos. If you are returning, welcome back. Y'all, we got a lot to talk about when it comes to Euphoria. Episode 2 premiered this past Sunday. And without further ado, let's get into it. Cassie. Yeah, we're gonna start with Cassie. Girl, what is you thinking? I really, really want to understand how, mama? How did you fall in love with Nate Jacobs in a matter of 2 hours between him picking your ass up off the curb in a parking lot out front of the Quickie Mart and y'all getting a quickie in the bathroom, almost discovered by Maddy, and him getting the beat out of him by Fezco last episode? How? This episode, y'all, we see Cassie spiraling because not only is she guilty or feeling guilty about what she did, but she also is craving Nate Jacobs. Yes, craving Nate Jacobs. Like, I don't understand it, but it seems that she has now fallen for him out of nowhere. Maybe the peen has made her feel things that McKay could never, that all the others could never. I don't know, but she is fiending. They are texting, they are conversing. They actually wound up having sex again in this episode, and it's all behind Maddy's back. There was a really key moment when they are actually together driving to this remote location where Nate was actually planning to like break it off of her and let her know that like it could not get out, could not happen again, whatever. And Maddy calls her and then calls him, and both of them are not answering. And I definitely think that that's going to be something that comes back because she's not going to make it out of this clean. Like, there's no way possible. She should have taken her luck that she had when she was in that damn bathtub and ran with that, but she wants to keep testing the fire, keep putting her hand in front of in the fire, and guess what, mama? You finna get burned. And I don't actually feel sorry for you. I'm sorry to the Cassie stands, but sis is out here doing it to herself. Y'all gotta admit, she's out here doing it to herself. It makes absolutely no sense. This episode, we tether between her and Nate, and her wanting to see him, needing to see him, getting to see him, having sex with him, but then also her being with her best friend Maddy and starting to talk about how she's going to be abstinent and she's going to be like a monk and she's going to focus on herself, but then she's also like feeling like a crackhead for Nate Jacobs. And it's like, girl, that don't even compute. Like, it don't compute. I think that we are really about to watch Cassie hit rock bottom. And I think it's very interesting because she is not a character that I worried too much about in season 1. Like, the character that we, of course, worried the most about was Rue. But with Cassie and just the things that I've seen happening with her in the last 2 episodes, she's starting to get up there for me. And one of the things that we knew were like an underlying issue for her is her self-worth and her confidence. And in this episode, it is confirmed. She desperately needs the validation of a male, and she literally is like a parasite to a host. And when she lost McKay, she just found another, and that to me is very, very dangerous. She seems so capable of making any kind of emotional rash decision, and right now it just looks like, oh, this risque relationship with my best friend's ex-boyfriend, but that could easily y'all stem to be something else, and it's not going to be good, I fear. Now, while we're talking about Cassie, we have to talk about Nate because we get a substantial amount of story from Nate in this episode. We literally pick up the episode with the whole crew carrying him out of the house party. The episode picks up right where it left off in episode 1, and they get him to the hospital. We get to see the scenes where you kind of get to see his options, right? So you see Maddy running alongside him, you see Cassie running alongside him, you get to see him in surgery and stitches and all of that. And then while he is coming into a space of recovery, we get to go into a fantasy space with him where he literally visualizes his whole future with Cassie. Again, how did y'all fall in love in the matter of 2 hours between you scooping her up in this Quickie Mart and you getting that quickie in the bathroom and then getting your lights knocked out of you all of 15 minutes later? All of this, like, this boy is fantasizing what his life will look like when they have a baby, when they are making love, when they are vacationing, like all of this stuff we get to see. And by golly, Miss Molly is Euphoria, so it looks amazing. Putting aside the fact that it's Nate Jacobs' fantasy, And putting aside the fact that this is a very toxic relationship in the making, the shit looks beautiful because it's Euphoria and all of it looks beautiful. The great things look beautiful, the shitty things look beautiful, the damn dumpster fires look beautiful. So it definitely looked great, but it was also something that I feel like is definitely setting up where we're going with Nate's character, because while on the surface it looks like he's in love with Cassie, I don't necessarily know if he does. Let's pause on the moment where he actually flashes to Jules in his fantasy sequence about Cassie. Yes, that one little frame where it's inserted into there, it is definitely for a reason. It is not a mistake, and that to me is the only clue that I needed, that this is not actually what he wants and there's something else happening psychologically that we're going to dive into. Now, if we care, that's a whole other story, because Nate, you are the scum of the earth, and I don't necessarily know if I care about what you want, dream, hope, and wish for yourself in the future, aside from my hope that you find some gasoline drawers to throw on and then jump into a vat of fire. Yeah, I don't know if I care. Yeah, I don't. Except for the fact that they're going to affect other people. In this episode, y'all, let's go ahead and shift over to Maddy, because she is going back and forth about if she should actually take Nate back. And it's honestly that real raw conversation that she has with Jules that was like so visceral, and it hurt my heart, because it was such a confirmation of like how Maddy doesn't actually feel like she deserves more. So we get the moment where they're talking about, you know, Kat and her relationship and how healthy and great it is, and then she's talking with Jules about Nate and how he sent her this great text message, and she feels like she wants to go back down that road and she wants to get back with him, and she literally starts to speak to the problems and the mess, and she feels like she can't not have that. And when I tell you, listening to this teenage girl talk about the fact that she needs toxicity within her romantic relationships for it to actually be real, my heart broke. Because that's real. How many of us think that if there's not drama, if there's not disrespect, if there's not toxicity, there's no real passion, there's no real love, there's no real loyalty? Like, we are actively rejecting struggle love, and Maddy, I need you to figure this out, find this out, tell a friend, tell like something. It needs to osmosis into your brain, sis, because you a baddie and you deserve. And we got confirmation of how much of a baddie you are watching a little bit of the backstory into her character. In this episode, we get to see that she has picked up a job after she was trying to sell her eggs, and child, you only 17 years old, so you can't be selling no eggs out here in these streets. But she picks up a job and she's babysitting, and we get to see her trying on the baddest, flyest luxury couture dresses of the mom of the kid that she's babysitting. And this feels just like Maddy's element. Honestly, it feels like it's foreshadowing to where she's going to be in the future. Like this, I don't know necessarily if this mom is like a kept mom or whatever, but I could definitely see that for Maddy, and just being placed in a relationship where she has all the more than she needs, fashionably amazing, and just continue to be a baddie, because Minka Kelly plays the mom, and I love me some Minka Kelly, y'all. I don't think that we actually are going to see Maddy figure it out when it comes to Cassie anytime soon. Like, it's probably going to be a few episodes before that. I think that her calling both Cassie and Nate, and both of them not answering, is definitely foreshadowing. If anything, it's not actually like something that's going to arrive in next week's episode. Honestly, while it makes for great television and great tension, I'm a little bit annoyed at the fact that we're really about to watch these two relationships progress, both happening behind each other's backs. And it's unfortunate because we're about to watch Cassie go through the freaking struggle love Olympics and trying to maintain her secret relationship with this boy who is now going to get back with his girlfriend that I don't even know. Do Nate love Maddy? Does Maddy really love Nate? At this point, they've just been so toxic and been together for so long, I feel like it's just what they know. But we're about to watch the struggle Olympics take place. Grab y'all's popcorn. One of my favorite parts of this episode was Kat. By far, Kat. From her in this fantasy sequence where Ethan is actually taken out by Khal Drogo, this Khal Drogo lookalike, and then he takes her, and that symbolizes what she's looking for within her relationships and some of her unhealed sexual and romantic trauma that we saw start to manifest in last season. And then also the sequence where we saw all of the influencers pop up and start speaking about all of this body positivity, and you need to be confident, and you need to live your best life, and you need to be your best self. yourself. And that is so indicative of this world that we are currently living in. Like, sometimes you just feel like shit. Sometimes you feel guilty and down and depressed. And sometimes you need to have space and room to just be able to live in that. Like, can y'all shut up? Please. I feel you, Kat, because I've definitely been there. And it gets to the point where the positivity movement, the body positivity movement, the overall positivity movement, the self-confidence movement, it starts to borderline toxicity as well when it doesn't leave room for you to have other human emotions such as jealousy, such as anger, such as resentment, such as depression. Like, there are things that they might not be the best thing to sit and wallow in, but you have to acknowledge them and you have to feel them and let them pass when they happen. And that's what we're actually seeing. Kat is really going to go through an internal struggle with finally being in a healthy relationship, finally being in a very calm place, and then now needing drama, needing struggle, needing negativity because of where she is mentally, but then also not really registering how great her situation is or appreciating how great her situation is because she's missing those negative parts. And I felt like the best part about her scenes and showing that particular theme was watching her do the pros and cons list and not actually being able to come up with any cons, but still finding this whole thing an overall problem. Some of y'all out here doing it. I know I did, so go ahead and check yourself, because y'all catch juniors. And it's real, it happens, but you know, once you become aware and you start to heal, that's all that matters. All right, y'all, so we cannot not talk about Rue. Okay? While Rue's scenes weren't as big as everybody else's scenes, we do get the introduction to the Rue, Elliot, and Jules love triangle that is forming. Rue is still doing drugs and hiding it from Jules, and she's doing it with Elliot. Elliot is clearly developing a romantic feeling, inkling, tinge, something. I don't know how Elliot would classify it, but it's something there. He got some stirrings and he's feeling our girl Rue. And I think that she might be feeling him too. However, she does deeply still want to be with Jules. Now, the one thing that I want to know, maybe this is just a side question. How is anybody who is in Rue's life not know that she's back on drugs besides Eileen? Jules, do you really? This is normal. Rue. It's the fact that we're gonna go on a journey with Rue still hiding that she's doing drugs from Jules and knowing that that's a deal breaker within their relationship and continuing to spiral more and more and more. I'm already annoyed by that because I honestly feel like everybody who's in her life that really loves her and really knows her should know that she's doing drugs right now. I mean, look at her. Please. Like, look at her. She almost died in that damn laundry room last episode. How did y'all not notice that? And Elliot, I guess you didn't let it happen because you actually helped her. But like, I mean, you also are already struggling with your own drug journey, so I can't even expect more from you. Y'all, it's about to be a mess. And honestly, Rue still stresses me out the most because I don't want her to ultimately die. And this is one series that I really feel like at any given point, there's a possibility that the main character, Rue, could die. Because Sam Levinson don't play fair. So I'll be worried. In this episode, we also got to see that Jules immediately pretty much doesn't like Elliot, but it's because she picks up what he's putting down in reference to the waves and the vibrations that he is kicking Rue's way. Now, one thing I will say about Elliot is while he's on drugs as well, while he's a little irresponsible, while he might not be the best influence, they got chemistry and they seem a lot alike. So, I don't know, I feel so weird and toxic in even saying that. But it is what it is. Now, the episode ends with Nate being confronted by his father, who also goes to confront Fezco because Cassie decides to tell who's the one who actually beat Nate's ass because she's not only a cheater but a goddamn snitch. I don't know how you Cassie stands are surviving right now because... But anyway, there's like a little face-off between Nate's dad and Fezco while Lexi is going to go claim her man because we get a little bit of moments from Lexi in this episode. A little bit where she decides to claim what's hers and she pumps up the nerves to go and tell him what it is and what it ain't. But because Faye little junkie self is sitting right there, she backs down. But then also that's at the same time that Nate's dad shows up to try to confront and or kill Fezco. But it's all good because Ashtray's with it and he got the Fruit Loops box right here ready to go. So what it is, what it ain't, you want to pop off or you don't. Luckily, Nate's dad didn't come with too much smoke. He bought a couple little things, asked a couple little questions, and then got his and left. But if it needed to go down and we had to drop Nate's daddy, I don't think we would have taken a loss. But back to the end of the episode. So his dad confronts him on why a drug dealer would want to beat the hell out of him. And he tells him, because of you. And lays everything out about what happened between him and Jules. And that the tape is there and out. And this is the tie to Maddy and the power that she holds. Even though she is unaware, right? Like, she's unaware that Nate is actually cheating. She's unaware of some other things that's actually going on. And while Nate in this episode told Cassie that she was unaware of the power that she holds, the most powerful woman I think right now is actually Maddy. And Lord forbid that she feels scorned or finds out, because scorch earth it will be. Just flames. Flames any and everywhere. Alright, y'all, that is my full breakdown of episode 2 of season 2 of Euphoria. Now is your time. In the comment section down below, let me know what you thought of this episode. What was your favorite moment? What are you most confused about? We're going to chop it up in the comment section down below. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications so that you don't miss any of my Euphoria videos. I absolutely enjoy, but also I'm very stressed while watching this series, and I love doing it with you and creating these videos, so let's continue to keep that conversation going. Be sure to follow me also on your favorite social media site at ericavane.com, as I am tweeting, I am TikToking, I am on Instagram, also talking about all of your favorite shows, and I would love to keep the conversation going in between these videos on those pages. Okay? Until my next video, check out my episode breakdown from last week here, or this video for a new series that I think you might like as well, right here. When I left in my life, started feeling right. Yeah, yeah, ooh. These days I do anything I like. Grinding for this life.